Hello and welcome back to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. We were experiencing a few technical difficulties there, so unfortunately we couldn't give you that bottom of the first inning that TJ Bozeman just pitched as the starter for Grand Prairie. Bozeman a record of 0-1 on the season, his only loss of the year coming against this Laredo Lemurs team. That was back on June 29th, and it was not a good outing. He allowed 7 runs in the first inning and a total of 9 runs on 8 hits through just 3 innings pitched. But in his last 3 relief appearances against Laredo. He's got a total of 7 innings and hasn't allowed a single run. And now he's gone 8 consecutive innings without allowing a run to Laredo. After that, bottom of the first, only allowed 1 walk to Travis Denker, the second baseman, but got 3 outs after that one. So it is still scoreless as we go to the top of the second. The Airhogs will lead it off with Frazier Hall, the right fielder, facing off against Tyler Pearson, who winds up and delivers the first pitch to Hall. That is called strike 1 on the lower third of the zone. Frazier Hall last night had a solo home run to right field, which is a rare occurrence here at Unitrade Stadium with the wind constantly blowing from right to left. But as I look out right now, the wind is pretty calm compared to other nights. Flags aren't really being blown very well in the wind, and the flagpole's way out in left center field. Inside on the next pitch to Frazier, it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Frazier will be followed by Matthew Burns and Eric Baker in the lineup for Grand Prairie. Hall now 7 home runs on the season. The 2-1 pitch, check swing, and it's a little low and inside to Hall, making the count 3-1. That home run to right field was just the 3rd home run that this season, that this stadium has seen leave the park in right. That is low in the dirt, and Hall will draw a leadoff walk in the second. Airhogs left the bases loaded in the first inning and scored no runs on 2 hits. So leadoff man is on, and the next batter is Matthew Burns. Burns subbed in for Madison Carter in the 8th spot last night. Burns shifted in defensively to third base, and Abel Nieves went to left, so that's where Eric Champion is starting tonight, as called strike 1 is taken by Burns under a bunt. Burns has 1 home run and 4 RBIs. That home run came last Sunday against the Amarillo Sox and was the difference maker in the game in the Airhogs 4-2 victory. That is swung on and foul tipped into the foul screen there by Burns. No balls and 2 strikes. Burns, a 24-year-old rookie out of Northwestern State in his first professional year. This is his 15th start of the season. Only batting with an average of 154. Has 10 career professional hits. Here is the 0-2 pitch to Burns. This is hit a long way into left field. Going back, Ramirez. It is going over the wall. And it is another home run for Matthew Burns, and he just won't stop hitting them. That's the 2nd of his career, and he rounds the bases and opens up our scoring here at Unitrade Stadium. And boy, would this be a good role for Matthew Burns to be on. 2-0 is the score after another 2-run bomb by the rookie Burns. So now Eric Baker will bat, and the team has to love that one. After Burns hit his first career home run at Quick Trip Park on Sunday, everybody in the Airhogs dugout was ecstatic. Even the bullpen came in to the dugout to congratulate the rookie Matthew Burns after his first bomb. Now he has his second, and Eric Baker pops the next pitch from Pearson over the screen, and it's strike 1. Eric Baker, a 3-game hitting streak. Last night, he went 1 for 3 with a single and a sacrifice bunt. Lines the next pitch into the Laredo dugout. That was a screamer, just sneaking in under the roof of the Laredo dugout there on the first base side, and luckily no one was on the direct receiving end of that one. As it's strike 2 to Eric Baker. And now Pearson with the 0-2 pitch. That is called strike 3 on the outside edge. 1 out here in the second. Pearson with strikeout number 2. And it brings up the top of the order once again. Jimmy Mojica will bat. He grounded out to shortstop in the first inning. First pitch from Pearson is low in the dirt, and that's ball 1. Mojica now on the season batting .297. Couple of home runs and 25 runs batted in. This next pitch driven into left field. Charging in Ramirez, slides and makes the catch. Just coming in a few steps, but he had to do so very quickly as the line drive from Mojica was hit very sharply and was about to drop into left, but Ramirez taking that away on a nice sliding catch for out number 2. So now Nunez is the batter. 2-0 Air Hogs after Matthew Burns' 2-run shot. First pitch outside to Nunez, ball 1. Nunez a single in the first inning, 1 for 1 tonight. Now Pearson winds up and delivers the 1-0. It's low this time on a changeup, and count now moves to 2-0 to Alex Nunez. Here is the 2-0 delivery from Pearson, driven into left center, and it will drop this time for a base hit. Ramirez picks it up, and Nunez will stay at first on the single. Back-to-back hits for Nunez, and now it brings up Abel Nieves with 2 gone. Nieves also singled in the first. 2 outs, a man on first base. Air Hogs up 2-0. Pearson looks over his shoulder, now delivers to Nieves, swung on and missed. A big cut there. And it's 0-1 to Nieves. .330 batting average, has the best average on the Air Hogs squad among players that are eligible for the batting title as he looks at a pitch upstairs this time from Pearson. 1-1 the count to Nieves. Alex Nunez does have an average of .345, but he has only played in 50 games. So Nieves technically in front of him as the next pitch is low in the dirt this time from Pearson, and it's now a 2-1 count to Abel Nieves with Jason Botts on deck. And the Air Hogs trying to follow up the home run by the rookie Matthew Burns here in this top of the second inning. 2-0 is the lead for Grand Prairie. They took a 2-0 lead in the fourth inning of last night's game, but it ended up losing 11-4. Here's the pitch from Pearson. This is pop foul over the roof. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Abel Nieves. 16th meeting between Laredo and Grand Prairie this year. Series finale tonight, and then after that, one more series, 3 games at Quick Trip Park between August 18th and August 20th. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here is the pitch from Pearson to Nieves. That is called strike 3. A nice slider there hitting the outside corner, and Nieves will sit down for out number 3. Third strikeout for Pearson, but 2-run score on 2 hits, the big one from Matthew Burns, the solo or the 2-run home run to left field, making it 2-0 Air Hogs going to the bottom of the second inning. You're listening to Grand Prairie Air Hogs Baseball. Welcome back to Grand Prairie Air Hogs Baseball. Bottom of the second inning now, and the Air Hogs are up 2-0 on the Laredo Lemurs. Here is the lineup. that the Laredo Lemurs will bring under manager Pete Incaviglia. Couldn't give it to you in the bottom of the first inning due to our technical difficulties, but I'll give it to you now. Leading it off, Nick Van Stratton, the center fielder. Then batting second, Dennis Phipps playing in right field. And batting third, Travis Denker at second base. Batting fourth, John Alonso at first. Batting fifth, J.P. Ramirez in left field. Batting sixth, Devin Goodwin, the shortstop. Batting seventh, the DH, Byron Wiley. And batting eighth, Carlos Ramirez, the catcher. And then batting ninth, Harrison Kane at third base. Leading it off in the bottom of the second is J.P. Ramirez batting in the 5-hole. Bozeman faced 4 batters in the first. Walked Travis Denker, the third batter of the inning, but was able to get out of the first inning without very much trouble, and so far no base hits allowed. Bottom of the second, and J.P. Ramirez, the first batter. Here comes the pitch from Bozeman, and it's a little low and outside this time. Ball 1 to Ramirez, who was the DH last night. Now playing in left field for tonight's game. Ramirez at the plate went 2 for 5 with a run scored. The 1-0 pitch is a little upstairs this time from Bozeman. 2-0 the count. J.P. Ramirez, left-handed batter against Bozeman, the right-handed pitcher. Now Bozeman sets at the stretch. Here comes the 2-0. Check swing, a little high. And the count now, 3 balls and no strikes. J.P. Ramirez from Aransas Pass, Texas. He's 24 years old. Last season played for the Sioux Falls Canaries. 3-0 pitch now on the way from Bozeman. And it's outside, a 4-pitch walk. Second walk allowed by Bozeman in this third start of the year for him. Last start for Bozeman was against Kansas City. He only lasted 4 innings, allowed 3 runs, but only 1 of them were earned. And that was a no decision for him. So now first runner is on base with nobody out, and Devin Goodwin will be the batter. Goodwin had a 3-run home run last night. First pitch is outside. That's ball 1 to Goodwin. 15 home runs on the season now for the all-star shortstop as Brian Peterson goes out to the mound to talk with T.J. Bozeman after 5 straight pitches out of the zone. Goodwin lives in Homewood, Alabama. He is 27 years old and is batting .301 this year. That comes after a great performance in last night's contest. Went 2 for 4 and drove in a total of 4 runs. Also scored 2. Bozeman delivers called strike 1 on the outside part of the plate to Devin Goodwin. A ball and a strike now with Byron Wiley on deck. Bozeman looks in, now gets the pitch he wants. Ramirez leading off at first. Here comes the 1-1. That is popped over the screen by Devin Goodwin. A ball and 2 strikes to the shortstop batting in the 6th hole. T.J. Bozeman is 24 years old, started out this season with the Lincoln Salt Dogs, started 2 games and appeared 6 times in relief for Lincoln. Last 3 seasons, he's played with the Fort Worth Cats. Set for the 1-2 pitch, and now here comes to Goodwin. That is on the ground, off the pitcher's mound. Mojica picks it up, steps on second, throws to first, and completes the 6-3 double play. Mojica had to readjust himself as the pitch came off of the pitcher's mound. So Mojica with some nice timing on that ground ball, picked it up, stepped on second, and delivered a nice throw to first base for the double play. 2 down in the second, nobody on base, and the next batter, Byron Wiley. Wiley played in left field last night. And in last night's game, he went 1 for 3 with a run scored. That's outside to Wiley, the left-handed batter, and it's ball 1. Wiley started out this season with the Kansas City T-Bones. Here's the 1-0. Little low and away again from Bozeman. 2 balls and no strikes. Wiley now playing his 28th game with Laredo. He's batting .264 with the team. 5 home runs and 16 RBIs. 2-0 lead for the Air Hogs in the bottom of the second. The 2-0 pitch To Wiley is called strike one on the lower third of the zone. 2 outs, nobody on base. Carlos Ramirez on deck. 2 balls and 1 strike against Byron Wiley. Bozeman delivers the pitch to Peterson. That is low, or high and outside, I should say. 3-1 the count now to Wiley, who lives in Tomball, Texas. He's 27 years old, left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. The 3-1 is outside again, and that's another walk allowed by Bozeman, second of the inning and third of the game. So now the batter is Carlos Ramirez. Bozeman, in his only start against Laredo this season, allowed 5 walks in 3 innings. Not to mention 9 runs on 8 hits. That's his only loss of the year, and since he moved to the bullpen, he's been pitching quite well against Laredo. 7 innings in his last 3 relief appearances against the Lemurs, and no runs allowed. Pitch to the next batter, Carlos Ramirez, is called strike one on the outside corner. Ramirez was the catcher last night. At the plate, he went 1 for 5 with a run scored and a run driven in. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. A nice curveball, and that is TJ Bozeman's real money pitch. The breaking pitch going low and away. It fools quite a few batters, and it's been very effective against Laredo as of late. The 0-2 pitch now on the way. Another breaking pitch, misses outside this time. And Ramirez, a 1-2 strike count against him with Harrison Kane on deck. Laredo now on a 5-game winning streak after taking the first of this 3-game set last night. Here comes the next pitch, hit high and deep into left. Going back, Nieves. He's on the warning track. He leaps, doesn't make the catch. It comes off the wall. Turning at third base and going to score is Wiley. The throw will not come all the way to the plate as Ramirez drives in Wiley from first base on the double to make it 2-1 Airhogs here in the second. Ramirez now with 33 runs driven in on the year. And now the 9-hitter Harrison Kane comes to the plate with a runner on second and 2 outs. Harrison Kane didn't get the start last night in place of Kyle Brandenburg. Here's the first pitch to Kane, and it's called strike one. Kane playing at third base. And on the season, he's batting .271, playing in 71 games for Laredo. Next pitch in the air to right field, but it's drifting foul, and it will land out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Harrison Kane, 25 years old. He lives in Thousand Oaks, California. He's in his second year with the Laredo Lemurs. Started out his career with the Amarillo Sox. Here comes the 0-2. Check swing, a little low. And Bill Montgomery at first base confirms the check swing by Kane. A ball and 2 strikes. Runner on second. 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning, and Laredo has cut the Airhogs' lead in half, 2-1. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Bozeman. Popped high in the air. It's foul. And ricocheting off of the light post. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Harrison Kane, the third baseman. Nick Van Stratton on deck for Laredo with a runner on second base. TJ Bozeman now set at the letters, looks at second base where Carlos Ramirez is leading off. Here's the pitch, hit high in the air to left center field. Drifting over is Baker. He calls off Nieves to make the grab, and that's out number 3. So 1 run scores for Laredo on 1 hit, and also 1 man left on base. 2-1, the Airhogs lead it after 2 innings here in Laredo, Texas. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. 2-1, the Airhogs lead it after 2 innings here in Laredo, Texas. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. 2-1, the Airhogs lead it after 2 innings here in Laredo, Texas. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Welcome back. Top of the third inning in Laredo, Texas. Airhogs up 2-1 on the Laredo Lemurs. Jason Botts will lead off this top of the third against Tyler Pearson, who's thrown 50 pitches already through just 2 innings of work. 29 of them have been strikes. He'll face Jason Botts now, who grounded into a fielder's choice in the first inning. In the dirt on the first pitch, and it's ball 1. Jason Botts now batting .312 and has played in all 80 games for the Airhogs this season. This is game number 81 for the team as the next pitch is swung on and foul tipped into the screen by Botts. A ball and a strike. Botts the only guy on the roster to play in all 80 games. Abel Nieves is the next closest with 77. A ball and a strike, the count to Botts, the switch hitter batting left-handed against Tyler Pearson, the right-handed pitcher. Long looking from Pearson at the signals from Ramirez. Now the windup in the pitch. Hit high and deep in the air to center field. Nick Van Straten racing back towards the warning track, and he will make the catch just on the edge of the dirt in left center field, and he covers a lot of ground out there in center. Botts down on the fly out to center. Now batting fifth, Brian Myro. 1 out, nobody on base. Brian Myro drew a walk in the first inning to load the bases. Pearson with the first pitch. It's way outside for ball 1. Now the next pitch comes to the left-handed batter, Brian Myro. Outside again, and it's 2-0. Myro comes into this game batting .240. Last night he went 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. Airhogs as a team batting .268 this season. Slowly bounce foul down the first base line, and it'll be strike 1 to Brian Myro on that pitch. As a comparison, Laredo is first in the league in team batting average. It's now at .307 on the year. So they have had no trouble producing runs this season. They have scored a total of 483 runs this season. That is best in the league. Low to Myro that time, 3 balls and 1 strike. Brian Peterson on deck for the Airhogs. 3-1 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Low from Pearson there on the slider, and it's now a full count to Brian Myro. Tyler Pearson, 11th start of the year, first start since July 12th. This next pitch popped high in the air to the left side, and it is now still a 3-2 count to the designated hitter, Brian Myro. Tyler Pearson does have 1 loss against the Airhogs this year. It was on August 5th when he came for a third of an inning in relief, and the Airhogs got a walk-off victory with Brian Myro driving in the winning run. 3-2 pitch on the way, popped high in the air over our press box on the third base side. Still 3-2 to the 37-year-old veteran Myro. Airhogs up 2-1 in the top of the third, out hitting Laredo 4-1. Here comes the 3-2 payoff pitch from Pearson. That is tipped high in the air, and Myro slightly lost handle of his bat as it landed just behind home plate and may have taken a small nick on the home plate umpire David Frame. We had Brian Child behind the plate get hit in the neck by a foul ball, and he was down for a little bit, but appears to be all right and certainly okay for this game. 3-2 pitch, curveball just inside. Myro seemed to be frozen on that pitch, but luckily it was off the plate for him, and he will draw his second walk of the night. So 1 man on first and 1 out for Brian Peterson, who struck out swinging to end the first inning, leaving the bases loaded. Peterson does have a grand slam against Laredo this year. Tyler Pearson now delivers the first pitch to Peterson, and it's strike one. There on the outside edge for Brian Peterson, 35-year-old veteran catcher. Now set on the mound is Pearson. Here comes the pitch. That is popped high in the air, and it'll go foul. Just behind the seats at Unitrade Stadium. No balls and 2 strikes to Brian Peterson. Frazier Hall on deck, a man on first and 1 out. Airhogs up by a run on Laredo and looking for more. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That is low this time on the cutter. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Pearson appeared in the All-Star game on July 29th, pitched a scoreless inning with only 1 hit allowed, also got a strikeout. Here comes the 1-2, inside to Peterson that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pearson has an ERA of 3.57 on the year. Total of 78 innings pitched and a record of 7-5. Now ready for the 2-2. Here it comes from Pearson. Inside again to the catcher Peterson that time. Frazier Hall, the next batter, a man on first, 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning here in Laredo, Texas. We have much better weather for this game. It was raining yesterday, which delayed our start time. Here's the 3-2 to Peterson. Slowly bounced on the ground to third base. Kane to second. Denker catches, goes to first. Did he get him? Yes, he did. And the 5-4-3 double play ends the top of the 3rd inning for Tyler Pearson. No runs for the Airhogs on no hits and nobody left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, and the Airhogs still with a 2-1 lead on the Lemurs. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Bottom of the 3rd inning, Airhogs still leading 2-1 on Laredo. TJ Bozeman on the mound to face Nick Van Straten first in this bottom of the 3rd. He'll be followed by Dennis Phipps and Travis Denker at the top of the order. For Laredo, Van Straten flew out to right field in the 1st inning. Van Straten now this season has a batting average of .346 on the year. That is 6th best in the league as he takes strike 1. Van Straten did not get a base hit last night as he went 0 for 5, did reach on an error and scored a run. Looks at ball 1 outside, a ball and a strike now to Van Straten, the 29-year-old veteran. Lives in Birmingham, Missouri. Here comes the next pitch. It's low. Van Straten that time. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dennis Phipps on deck. Second game of the road trip for the Air Hogs. Second game of the 3-game set with Laredo. They'll have a 3-game set against Wichita on the weekend. Bozeman with the 2-1 inside to Van Straten. He ducked backwards there, and that's 3-1 the count now. Bozeman has allowed 3 walks already in 2 innings. Now the pitch on the 3-1. That's called strike 2 on the inside corner to Van Straten. A full count. Van Straten is a native of St. Louis. Batted .352 last year and was second best in the league behind Abel Nieves. The payoff pitch from Bozeman, high for ball 4 and a leadoff walk, drawn by Van Straten. 4th walk of the game for TJ Bozeman, and it'll bring up Dennis Phipps. Phipps grounded out to third base in the first inning. With Laredo, Phipps has a batting average of .379 as he swings emphatically at that first pitch in the dirt from TJ Bozeman for strike 1. He joined the Lemurs on June 21st when they were in Kansas City, and he's been phenomenal for them all season. And the native of the Dominican Republic. Next pitch to Phipps is outside. 2-0 now, or 1-1 I should say. Dennis Phipps playing in right field again, batting in the 2-hole, has 11 home runs and 35 RBIs in his time with Laredo. Moved to first, and that just was stopped by Jason Botts as he knocked it into the ground. The throw was a little bit to his left side. Van Straten diving in safely, but could have been costly there if Botts allowed that to go all the way to the wall. Bozeman ready for the 1-1 to Phipps. Here it comes. A little outside that time on the curveball, and it's 2-1. Phipps played briefly in the major leagues for the Cincinnati Reds in 2012. Spent a long time with their organization in the minor leagues. Last played in the Chicago White Sox minor league system before coming here to independent ball to play for Laredo. He also played in the Mexican League before coming to the Lemurs between the 2013 season and the start of the 2014 year. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Bozeman. Little outside again and a little low as well. 3-1. Travis Denker on deck with a man on first and nobody out. And Bozeman now set. No, he delivers to first base, and it gets away from Botts this time. Bounces off the wall, and Van Straten takes second base. So an error on the pickoff move by TJ Bozeman. Most likely a throwing error. E1 to the pitcher Bozeman, moving Van Straten into scoring position with nobody out. 3 balls and a strike to Phipps. And now Bozeman set at the letters. The pitch comes to the plate. That is driven into left field. Very hard, but straight at Abel Nieves. Just a couple steps to his left side to make the catch. 1 down. Now comes Travis Denker to bat. Denker drew a walk in the first inning. Denker had an RBI last night to give him 75 on the season. He leads the league in that category as well as in the home run department. 22 jacks this year, a .320 batting average. Runner on second base and 1 out. Airhogs up by a run in the bottom of the third. 2-1 is the scoreline. Denker ready for the first pitch from Bozeman. Here it comes. And Denker takes it for called strike 1 on the inside part of the plate. Travis Denker last season played for the Lancaster Barnstormers in the Atlantic League, native of Brea, California. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Bozeman looks at second where Van Stratton leads off. Very considerably, I should say, and now Bozeman steps off the rubber. Nunez was threatening to hold on Van Stratton on the bag. No balls and a strike to Denker. Here comes the pitch from Bozeman, a breaking ball, just missing outside. And Bozeman really wanted it for ball one. John Alonso on deck, the cleanup hitter. Denker batted in the cleanup spot for most of the season with Laredo, but a few weeks ago, Pete Villi decided to shuffle things up. Here comes the 1-1, low in the dirt this time for Bozeman. 2 balls and a strike. Travis Denker was drafted in the 03 MLB Amateur Draft in the 21st round by the Dodgers. Spent time with their organization as well with the Giants, the Red Sox, the Padres, and the Mariners. This next pitch hit high in the air to center field. Baker a few steps back, now settling underneath to make the catch. Tagging and going to third is Van Stratton. He slides in safely on out number 2. So now a runner on third base with 2 gone, and John Alonso will bat. Alonso with a fly out to center field in the first. Alonso in last night's game got a couple of runs driven in, going 3 for 5, scoring 3 runs. Here comes Bozeman with the pitch. Breaking ball in there for called strike 1. Alonso is now in his second year with Laredo. He's out of Orlando, Florida, 28-year-old veteran. Breaking pitch again. This one misses a little low for Bozeman. And it's now a ball and a strike. So Bozeman really likes to go with the breaking ball against this Laredo team especially. The only thing he doesn't want to do is leave one right over the plate as the next pitch is inside, and Peterson had to do well to keep it from going to the backstop there with a run around third. 2 balls and a strike to Alonso. Power hitters will really punish you if you leave a pitch too far over the plate here in this ballpark, especially a guy like Alonso. 2 balls and a strike to the cleanup hitter with a man on third and 2 outs. Airhogs leading 2-1 in the bottom of the third. The pitch from Bozeman is hit on the ground to shortstop. Mojica scoops it off the ground, now throws to first, and ends the third inning. So no run score on no hits, an error by the Airhogs, and 1 man left by the Lemurs. Going to the fourth inning now, it is 2-1 Airhogs here in Laredo. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Welcome back to Laredo, Texas. We're at Unitrade Stadium, top of 4, and the Airhogs are up 2-1. Second game of the 3-game set, and the Airhogs will have to win tonight if they want to try and have a chance for the series victory after winning their last 5 road series since Eric Champion took over as manager. Frazier Hall leads it off, and Tyler Pearson will deliver a curveball, little high that time for ball 1. Hall walked and scored a run in the second. Had a home run last night to right field, which is a tall task here in this stadium as the wind blows from right to left. Low again to Frazier Hall, 2-0. He'll be followed by Matthew Burns and Eric Baker in the lineup for Grand Prairie. Low and inside this time, and the count now 3 balls and no strikes to Frazier Hall. Hall now 7 home runs on the season and 29 runs batted in, a .262 batter this year. Also has 17 doubles. Third best on the team. That is low and in, and a 4-pitch walk drawn by Frazier Hall, and not a good way to start out the 4th inning for Tyler Pearson, closing in now on 75 pitches. So now Matthew Burns, the batter. Burns, first time up, a 2-run home run to left field in the second inning, his second home run of the year. And he also has 2 homers in the last 3 games. Pearson with the first pitch. It's inside for strike 1, actually. Just hitting the inside part of the plate to Burns, the 24-year-old rookie from Northwestern State. Only a .154 batter coming into tonight. The next pitch is low in the dirt for ball 1. Frazier Hall, leading off at first base, has 2 stolen bases this year. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Burns digging in, the rookie. That gets away from Carlos Ramirez to the backstop, and Frazier Hall will take second. A wild pitch there for Pearson. So now the count is 2-1 to Burns, with Eric Baker on deck. Burns at third base, subbing in for Madison Carter last night, who came out of the game from left field. And now Wabel Nieves, who is usually the third baseman for the Airhogs, moving into Carter's vacant position in left. Here's the 2-1 to Burns. That's on the inside corner, called strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Burns in his 15th start of the season. Now played in 35 games for the Airhogs. Has spent all season with the team, just hasn't gotten that much playing time as a rookie. Here's the 2-2, and it's low. Now the count full to Burns. 2 home runs now for Matthew Burns and 6 RBIs. Runner on second and nobody out in the top of the 4th inning. Airhogs up by a run here as time is called before the pitch. Airhogs out hitting Laredo 4-1. They also have 1 error compared to Laredo's none. Pearson looks into the signals from Ramirez. Now ready to deliver the payoff pitch. Here comes the Burns. And it's outside, another walk. That's the second consecutive free pass allowed by Tyler Pearson, and his 4th of the game. So that brings up Eric Baker, the center fielder, and now a couple of infielders as well as the catcher Carlos Ramirez out to talk with Tyler Pearson. Pearson now close to 80 pitches through just 3 innings of work in this start for him. He's made 10 starts this year and 15 relief appearances. He's from Ukiah, California, 29 years old, in his 8th professional year and his 2nd with Laredo. He'll face Eric Baker now. He struck him out looking in the 2nd inning. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Bunt shown by Baker, chopped foul on the left side. And the infield for Laredo was ready for it. Corner infielders there, Alonso and Kane, charging in on the bunt from Baker. It's strike 1 there. Baker laid down a sac bunt last night as well, going 1 for 3 with a single. Jimmy Mojica on deck. Runners on first and second. Still nobody out in the top of the fourth. Showing the bunt again. Pulls back. A snap throw to second base. Frazier Hall sliding in time to beat the throw from Ramirez. And it's now a ball and a strike. Airhogs up 2-1 on Laredo in the top of the fourth inning. And they know that they're going to need plenty of insurance runs to try and win this game. Laredo can explode at any time. Offensively, here's the 1-1. Shown bunt, but pulling back on a pitch low and away is Baker. And it's now 2 balls and a strike to the rookie center fielder. Made an excellent diving catch last night in shallow center field. And that's the sort of thing that he's done all season defensively for the Airhogs. A bunt again. It is low this time. And now 3-1. So Burns still trying to make contact after chopping the first one foul for strike one. Now fights back to a 3-1 count. And we'll see if he tries the bunt again. Ramirez now out to the mound to talk with Pearson, who's now up to 82 pitches. Airhogs have had most of the momentum in this one and trying to threaten once again here in the top of the fourth with a 2-1 lead. Pearson now ready to deliver the 3-1 to Baker. Shown bunt again. It is slowly bounced in front of the third base, and it's going to third base is Ramirez, and he will get the lead runner, Frazier Hall, on the sacrifice bunt attempt by Baker. It was just in front of home plate, actually, and Ramirez with a nice defensive play to get the lead runner, and now Pete Incaviglia emerging from the Laredo dugout. So a 2-5 putout on the lead runner, Frazier Hall, for out number 1. Still runners on first and second base, and now 1 out. So Pete Incaviglia talking with his starting pitcher, Tyler Pearson. Incaviglia in his 3rd season as the manager here in Laredo. And as you may know, he was the Grand Prairie Airhogs manager between 2008 and 2010. That was the Airhogs' first 3 seasons in the league. Incaviglia led them to the championship series in 2008. And now Incaviglia is giving signals way out to right field into the bullpen to get somebody warming up for Pearson. Runners on first and second and 1 out. Jimmy Mojica, the batter. Here's the first pitch, swung on and missed, and losing his balance to his right side there is Mojica on that big swing, and it's strike 1. Mojica tonight 0 for 2. Last time up, he flew out to left field on a nice sliding catch by J.P. Ramirez. Mojica went 2 for 4 with the run scored last night. Here comes the 0-1 from Pearson. Low in the dirt, and it rolls to the left of Ramirez, but the runners will not go. A ball and a strike now to Jimmy Mojica. Spent the last 2 years here, and every time at this stadium he's received at least a few boos from the home crowd. After retiring at the end of last year, saying that he was done, but then signing with the Airhogs in the second week of this 2014 season. The 1-1 pitch on the way from Pearson, popped, foul, and drifting out of play on the right side. Counts now 1-2 against Mojica with Alex Nunez on deck. 1 out, and runners at first and second base for Grand Prairie. And these are the opportunities they don't want to let pass by. Airhogs have already left 4 men on base in this game, including leaving the bases loaded in the first. Here's the 1-2 to Mojica. It's bounced on the ground to third base. Kane comes to the bag, throws to first base, gets the out, and completes the 5-3 double play to end the top of the fourth. So no runs score on no hits, and 1 man left by the Airhogs in that top of the fourth. We'll go to the bottom half of the inning, and the Airhogs still up 2-1 on Laredo. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Airhogs up 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning here in Laredo. Leading it off, J.P. Ramirez, the left fielder, against T.J. Bozeman, in his third start of the season with the Airhogs and his fifth start overall. Usually used as a bullpen guy for Grand Prairie, but getting the start as the Airhogs are trying to fill their fifth starting spot in the rotation. Now Bozeman sets to deliver to Ramirez. Here's the first pitch. It's called strike one on the fastball. Ramirez led off the second inning, drawing a walk. Bozeman has allowed 4 walks tonight and only 1 base hit, as well as 1 earned run. That pitch is a little inside for ball 1 to Ramirez. After him, Devin Goodwin and Byron Wiley, 5, 6, 7, part of the lineup for Laredo. 1-1 pitch on the way from Bozeman. Curveball, and it's in there for called strike 2. Once Bozeman gets control of the breaking pitch, batters can sometimes just give up. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. 1-2 is on the way from Bozeman. Another breaking pitch popped high in the air, and calling for it is the catcher Peterson. It's only a few feet in front of home plate, and he barely gets the cradle catch on the third base line. That looked a little bit dangerous there. Peterson has had a little bit of trouble catching high pop-ups like that one, but able to make the grab for out number 1 on Ramirez there. That was in fair territory on the third base line. 1 down for Devin Goodwin, who grounded into a 6-3 double play in the second. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Bozeman now delivers to Goodwin, swung on and bounced foul. Off the catcher, it appears, and Peterson is shaking off some of that soreness. For strike 1 on Devin Goodwin, who had a home run last night to give him 15 on the year. He's now 5th best in the league in home runs. Also has 30 multi-hit games this season, including one last night where he went 2 for 4 with a total of 4 runs driven in. No balls and a strike to Devin Goodwin, 27-year-old. Last played for the Kansas City T-Bones in 2013. Bozeman set. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Little high and outside that time from Bozeman, and it's a ball and a strike. Byron Wiley on deck for Laredo. Now set is Bozeman. Here comes the 1-1. That's called strike 2 on a changeup on the outside edge. Airhogs 7-8 against Laredo on the season, so trying to even the season series once again with a win tonight. The 1-2 to Goodwin is swung on and foul tipped into the screen on a pitch high from Bozeman that time. And it's a ball and 2 strikes still to Goodwin. Batting in the 6th hole. Playing at shortstop as he always does. Selected as an all-star shortstop this year and was the all-star MVP, going 2 for 5 in the game. Next pitch, a curveball once again, but this one's low in the dirt. And it's 2-2. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Airhogs, 1 run on 1 hit for Laredo. Bozeman with the 2-2 pitch to Goodwin. Breaking pitch, that is called strike 3. Outside edge there for Goodwin, who did not like the call one bit from David Frame, the home plate umpire. But that's the first strikeout of the game for Bozeman. And it's out number 2 in the 4th inning. Next batter, Byron Wiley, walked and scored the first run of the game for Laredo in the 2nd. Bozeman now is at 62 pitches, and here's number 63 to Byron Wiley, and it's outside for ball 1. Of those 63 pitches, he has more balls than strikes, so Bozeman struggling to throw strikes just a little bit in this outing with 4 walks and a strikeout already. That's called strike 1 to Wiley. Now the 1-1 comes to the plate. Breaking pitch just outside, and Bozeman wanted it badly, but it's 2-1. Byron Wiley is hitting .264 in his first 27 games with Laredo. Swings and misses at a fastball there from Bozeman. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count with 2 outs and nobody on base in the bottom of the 4th inning. Two-two pitch on the way from Bozeman, and a breaking pitch doesn't find the zone there as it's a little bit low again, and now it'll be a full count to Byron Wiley, who's hitting .345 in his last 10 games to bump his average from .224 to .264. Here comes the payoff pitch, swung on and missed, and back-to-back strikeouts for Bozeman in that 1-2-3 4th inning. So now after 4 here at Unitrade Stadium, the Airhogs have a 2-1 lead on Laredo. We'll be back. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Airhogs up 2-1 on Laredo as we start the 5th inning here at Unitrade Stadium. Alex Nunez, the first batter of the 5th inning. Nunez tonight is 2 for 2. Tyler Pearson back on the mound. Start inning number 5, but We'll see how long he can last. He's at 87 pitches right now. Now here comes the windup in the first pitch to Alex Nunez, who takes it low and inside for ball one. Nunez now a 2-game hitting streak, as the next pitch is just a little low for ball two. Nunez, a .345 hitter, now playing in game number 50 as an Air Hog this season. 2-0 pitch on the way. This is in there for called strike one on the inside edge. Fastball there from Pearson, and trying to get back into this game with the fastball is here comes pitch number 91. That is lined into left field. It'll bounce in front of Ramirez for a base hit, and 3 for 3 on the night is Nunez. 3 singles for the veteran second baseman, and he puts himself on base with nobody out for Abel Nieves. 5 base hits for the Air Hogs tonight. Nieves has one of them. It was in the first inning. He also has a strikeout in tonight's game. Righty versus righty. Here comes the pitch. Bounced on the ground, straight back to the pitcher. Throws to second base, but it's wide of Goodwin, and Nunez will be safe at second base. Goodwin had to stretch to his left side to catch it. Pearson with a very, very fierce throw over to second base, probably a little too emphatic than it needed to be. And it ended up being wild to the left side of Devin Goodwin, and that could have been a double play to empty the bases, but instead 2 runners are on for Grand Prairie with nobody out, and the next batter is Jason Botts. It'll be an error for the Lemurs. So far, I don't know who it's on. Should be on Tyler Pearson on the throw. Meanwhile, here's the first pitch to Jason Botts. Curveball, low or high and outside for ball one. Botts 0 for 2 with a ground out into a fielder's choice and a fly out to center. The 1-0 pitch swung on and slowly bounced foul on the first base line. Counts now 1-1 on Botts, who is 5th best in the league with 60 home runs or 60 RBIs this season. 60 home runs would certainly be first place, not only in this league, but probably in the majors. So my apologies on that mistake of words there. Here's the 1-1. That's a little bit low on the fastball from Pearson, and he's really wanting that pitch. His body language after the call from home plate umpire David Frame said, "Come on, can you give me a break here?" 2 balls and a strike to Jason Botts. Brian Myro on deck. Botts a switch hitter batting lefty. Runners on first and second and nobody out after the error by Tyler Pearson. Here is the 2-1 pitch in the dirt, blocked in front of Carlos Ramirez, and he keeps it in front of him as it rolls down the third base line. It's now a 3-1 count on Botts. Official word is that the error is on the pitcher. Nieves reaches on the fielder's choice, and Nunez will move to second base on the throwing error by Pearson. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Botts, taken low, and it'll load the bases on ball 4 to Jason Botts. Brian Myro will come up to bat. Tyler Pearson about to throw pitch number 100. He's at 97, so he'll probably reach that shelf there in this at-bat against Myro, most likely. Myro has drawn 2 walks tonight. Bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. Air Hogs with a big opportunity to extend their lead. Strike one called on the breaking pitch from Tyler Pearson. Myro last night went 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. Air Hogs will certainly take a run, but would like to get quite a few in this 5th with bases loaded and nobody out. This next pitch hit high in the air to left. Going back a few steps, Ramirez backpedaling, makes the catch. Tagging and scoring now is Nunez. 3-1 now is the score for the Air Hogs. Another sacrifice fly from Myro. second in 2 games, and it makes the score 3-1 Airhogs. That was what it was in the bottom of the 8th of last night's game before Laredo exploded for 10 runs in the bottom of the 8th to eventually win 11-4. So the Airhogs know that they need more than just a 2-run lead against this high-powered offense. 1 down, runners on first and second base. Brian Peterson is next to the plate. Peterson tonight 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out into a double play. This next pitch on the ground to third base. Stepping on the bag is Kane. Throw to first, and that is going to be a double play there as Alonso jumped to make the catch but applied the tag on Peterson, and the inning is over for the Airhogs in the top of the 5th. They do get 1 run on 1 hit, and they leave 1 man on base. Going to the bottom of the 5th inning, now the lead is 3-1 for the Airhogs. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Next, we have the bottom of the 5th inning. TJ Bozeman on the mound for the Airhogs with a 3-1 lead on Laredo. Carlos Ramirez will start off this bottom of the 5th. Ramirez an RBI double in the 2nd inning. 1 for 1 tonight. Here comes the first pitch. It is just outside the plate that time from Bozeman. It's ball 1 to Carlos Ramirez. After him, Harrison Kane and Nick Van Straten in the lineup for Laredo. Bozeman kicks and delivers. That's called strike 1 on the inside corner that time. Carlos Ramirez batting .222 this year, playing in game number 60. Now has 11 doubles and 33 runs batted in. Pops it high in the air into the infield diamond. Jason Botts calling for it and making the catch. That's 1 down in the 5th. Next batter is Harrison Kane, the third baseman, who has turned 2 5-3 double plays already in the field tonight. At the plate, he is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center. Well, Bozeman is doing a pretty nice job for a reliever mostly to keep his pitch count down in this start. The first pitch to Kane is called strike 1. Bozeman now at 73 pitches, although he has more balls than strikes. The 0-1 to Kane is trying to check his swing there, but went around too far on strike 2. Nice breaking pitch from Bozeman to keep Kane guessing on that pitch, and it's no balls and 2 strikes the count. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. The 0-2 pitch is low and outside this time. Ball and 2 strikes on Harrison Kane, the third baseman. Didn't get the start last night. Kyle Brandenburg started in the 9-hole and at third base for Pete Incaviglia in last night's contest. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and another nasty breaking pitch from Bozeman, and he earns strikeout number 3 on the night. 2 down in the 5th, and now here comes Nick Van Straten. Van Straten is 0 for 1 with a walk in the third inning. Also advanced to second base on a throwing error by Bozeman, who tried to pick him off at first. 2 outs, nobody on base. Airhogs up by 2 runs. Out hitting Laredo 5-1. 1 error for each team. First pitch from Bozeman. Fastball in there, called strike 1. Van Straten's batting average for the season is now at .346, which is 6th best in the league. Checks his swing there on a pitch low from Bozeman. And it's a ball and a strike. He led the league in base hits last year with 143, and the second best batting average at .352. 1-1 pitch. Shown bunt this time, and it's foul into the mitt of Brian Peterson, but his mitt seemed to come off. It may have come off of his wrist there, or some part of his body as he's trying to shake off some pain, wincing a little bit and walking around home plate. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Van Straten with Dennis Phipps on deck. Peterson appears to be all right. Nick Van Straten looking for his first base hit of this series. Went 0 for 5 in last night's game and 0 for 1 so far tonight. Here comes the pitch from Bozeman. Swung on and missed. That was foul tipped. And Peterson couldn't hold on to it, and it's still going to be a ball and 2 strikes to Nick Van Straten. Bozeman now at 80 pitches. Now he's set for the 1-2 to Nick Van Straten. A breaking pitch misses high and away. Even count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Van Straten, an all-star center fielder. Spent 7 professional seasons in the Kansas City Royals organization. Now here comes the 2-2. Low in the dirt from Bozeman, and it's a full count. Van Straten last year was a member of the Sioux Falls Canaries, playing the American Association, and he's been around the league for quite a while now. 3-2 payoff pitch. Breaking ball. Bounced on the ground to shortstop. Mojica to his right. Throws across his body and just barely gets the out, beating Van Straten by a half step. And that's a nice play by Jimmy Mojica, throwing against the grain there to first. And it earns Bozeman another 1-2-3 inning, and he sat down the last 9 Laredo batters. We now go to the 6th here at Unitrade Stadium. The Airhogs up 3-1. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Welcome back to Grand Prairie Airhogs baseball. Now starting the 6th inning here at Unitrade Stadium in Laredo, Texas. Airhogs up 3-1, and Laredo will go to the bullpen now, bringing in the right-hander Michael Suk. Suk on the season has an ERA of 2.75, pitching in a total of 49 innings, has 25 relief appearances now and 2 starts this year, a record of 2-1. Second season with Laredo. Suk is a rookie in his second professional year, 24 years old, from Playerstown, New Jersey. First batter he faces is Frazier Hall. Hall tonight is so far not picked up an official at-bat, 2 walks and a run scored. He looks at strike 1 from Suk. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Suk now set from the stretch. Here comes the 0-1 to Frazier Hall, and it's hit deep into right center field. Going back Phipps, but he makes the grab on the run. Just about a few yards away from the warning track, and Hall, who had a home run to right field last night, was a victim to the wind blowing from right to left field that time on out number 1. So Suk comes in for Tyler Pearson, who finished with 5 innings pitched, 3 runs allowed on 5 hits, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts for Pearson in his 11th start of the year. 1 out, nobody on base. Matthew Burns will bat. Burns 1 for 1 with a 2-run homer in the second. Last time up he drew a walk. Shows bunt this time. It's inside for ball 1. So Burns now has 2 home runs in the last 3 games, his first 2 professional home runs of his career. The 1-0 pitch on the way from Suk is called for strike 1 on the outside corner. Burns not showing bunt that time. Looking to swing it away now. Eric Baker is on deck for the Airhogs, up 3-1 in this top of the 6th. Suk now set again at the letters. Here comes the 1-1. Fastball high and outside. And it'll move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike to the rookie Matthew Burns out of Northwestern State. Burns playing at third base and getting his 15th start of the season. The 2-1 pitch on the way from Suk. It's a little low that time. It appeared to be over the plate, but couldn't get the vertical placement correct there for Michael Suk. And it's 3-1 to Matthew Burns, the right-handed batter. Suk now set for the 3-1. Here it comes. It's taken, and it's called strike 2 on the outside corner. Burns thought it was ball 4. Airhogs out hitting Laredo 5-1 and outscoring them 3-1. Suk set again. The payoff pitch on the way to Burns. This is hit high in the air to center field. Going back a few steps now, Van Stratton, and he will settle underneath to make the catch. 2 down. Let's take a look at some other scores around the American Association tonight. One has already gone final, an interleague matchup between New Jersey and Sioux Falls, and the New Jersey Jackals victorious 8-5 in that one. Postponed until a later date, Quebec and Fargo-Moorhead, the other interleague matchup. Right now, top of the 8th inning in Winnipeg, up 3-2 are the Winnipeg Goldeyes on the St. Paul Saints. First pitch to Eric Baker is taken for called strike 1. Kansas City 4, Amarillo 1, bottom of the 8th in Amarillo. It's a tie score between the Wingnuts and the Salt Dogs, 5-5 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sioux City up 9-5 on the road against the Gary South Shore Railcats in the bottom of the 5th. Big swing and a foul tip by Eric Baker there on the next pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. Baker tonight is 0 for 2. Last time up, he reached on a fielder's choice. Airhogs up by 2 runs on Laredo in the top of the 6th inning. Suk ready to deliver. Here comes the 0-2 to Baker. This is driven into right field. Phipps comes in. Now he's going to try to go to first base, and just beating the throw from right field is Eric Baker. Phipps tried to do that a couple of times last night. He shifted into shallow right field since the wind is so strong from right to left at this stadium. And Phipps almost got a couple of runners last night from right field, throwing to first, but Baker's got a lot of speed on him, and he just barely beat that throw from Phipps on the line drive to right. So Baker now a 4-game hitting streak, and it brings up Jimmy Mojica with 2 outs. Mojica tonight is 0 for 3. First pitch from Suk is low for ball 1. Mojica last time up grounded into a 5-3 double play. Each of the last 2 innings for the Airhogs have ended in that fashion. 1-0 pitch is on the way from Suk. Swung on and foul tipped into the screen there by Jimmy Mojica. It's a ball and a strike now with Alex Nunez on deck. Michael Suk was originally announced as the starter for tonight's game, but coming in relief of Tyler Pearson, and we'll see how long Suk can go. He does have 2 starts this season. Looks in at the pitch, now throws over to first base. Baker, on the dive, had to start crawling on the ground as he dove too short there to the first base bag, and now will probably be a little more safe on his leadoff here. A ball and a strike to Mojica. Suk set, and here comes the pitch. Taken outside by Mojica that time, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Airhogs last season went 7-7 against Laredo. This season they're 7-8. After this matchup, these two will meet 4 more times. 2-1 pitch upcoming from Suk. Here it comes to Mojica. And it's bounced on the ground, just foul down the third base line. And Harrison Kane almost made the play at that one and really couldn't keep it in foul territory anyway, so it's 2-2 now to Mojica. Jimmy this season has a batting average of .297. Last night went 2 for 4. A couple of home runs this season for Mojica, as well as 25 runs batted in. Runner on first, 2 outs for the Airhogs, up 3-1 here in the top of the 6th. Now the 2-2 pitch comes, runner going, pitches outside. The throw to second base is not in time as Baker slid under the tag from Devin Goodwin, but Goodwin couldn't apply the tag and keep the ball in his glove at the same time, as Baker will grab stolen base number 4 on the year. It's now a full count to Mojica as the pitch was outside the plate. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Suk looking in at the signals. Now he's set for the payoff pitch. Here comes the 3-2 to Mojica. That is hit in the air to center field. To his left goes Van Straten, still running back, and makes the catch finally for out number 3. So no run score on 1 hit, a man left on base by the Airhogs, and now going to the bottom of the 6th inning, they will take a 3-1 lead to the bottom of the 6th against their South Division rival, the Laredo Lemurs. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Welcome back. The Airhogs lead it on the road 3-1 on the Laredo Lemurs. Bottom of the sixth inning now in Laredo, Texas at Unitrade Stadium. First batter of this bottom of the sixth, Dennis Phipps, the right fielder, batting in the 2-hole. Following him, Travis Denker and John Alonso for Laredo. Phipps tonight 0 for 2. Went 3 for 5 in last night's game. And has been one of the best hitters for Laredo since he joined the team in mid-June. First pitch shown bunt, and it's low for ball 1. TJ Bozeman back on the mound has retired the last 9 Laredo batters. Settling in now in this third start of the season with Grand Prairie. It's upstairs for ball 2. Bozeman has now gone longer in any outing he's had with Grand Prairie this year. 5 total innings. His longest start with the Airhogs this season before this one was 4. Here comes the 2-0. Shown bunt again. This time it's called strike 1 on the inside edge. Phipps just showing bunt to see where the pitch was going to be. Didn't really feel like making contact on that play. 2 balls and a strike. Bozeman set again. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Hit high in the air, way high into left center field. And they're going to wait a long time for this to come down. Baker finally the one to call off Nieves in left center to make the catch. And that's out number 1. Important that there's good communication out there between Baker and Nieves. Nieves not normally an outfielder. He has played in right, but this is the first time that he's started in left field this year. He came in to play left last night and had an error overjudging a shallow fly ball to left field as it blew over his head. And it ended up being a costly error in a 10-run 8th inning for Laredo. So 1 down here in the 6th inning for TJ Bozeman. Next batter is Travis Denker, 0 for 1 tonight with a walk. Bozeman with the first pitch, little low this time, and it's ball 1. Well, Travis Denker is leading the league in both home runs and RBIs this year. He has the .320 batting average as well. That's not in the top 10 in the league, but he's certainly done his duties as a power hitter for Laredo this season, coming from the Atlantic League where he played last year. 2-0 the count to Denker. John Alonso on deck. Here's the 2-0 pitch in the dirt, and it's 3-0. TJ Bozeman has 4 walks in tonight's start, as well as 3 strikeouts. Now he is at 90 pitches. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the 3-0, and it's in there this time, called strike 1 to Denker. Well, Bozeman is starting to do a little better in the balls and strikes department. He now has more strikes than balls. He's been struggling to throw strikes here in this start, but this one is driven long into left field. And looking up is Nieves as this one leaves in a hurry for Travis Denker. That's number 23 of this season for the veteran out of Brea, California. And he cuts the lead to 1 once again for Grand Prairie as he rounds the bases for that solo shot here in the 6th. And that's been a familiar sight this year. Denker going long to left field on that line drive home run, just sneaking on the inside part of the foul pole. 1 down, nobody on base. Next batter, John Alonso. Alonso 0 for 2 tonight. Last time up, grounded out to shortstop. Breaking ball in there for called strike 1 on the outside corner. Alonso comes into this game with a .355 batting average. Next pitch skied in the air to shallow right. Coming in, Frazier Hall, a few steps, and he will make the grab. Now 2 down in the 6th inning. It'll bring up J.P. Ramirez, the left fielder. Ramirez 0 for 1 in tonight's game with a walk and a pop-up to the catcher. Ramirez, a left-handed batter, against Bozeman, the right-handed pitcher. Bozeman had retired the last 10 Laredo batters after that, or before that, solo home run by Travis Denker. Next pitch is popped over our press box on the third base line, and it's strike one to J.P. Ramirez. Ramirez in last night's game for Laredo went 2 for 5 with a run scored. Breaking ball upstairs, this time from Bozeman, and he's trying to find the strike zone here against Ramirez for ball one there. Visibly frustrated after that pitch from that breaking ball. Here's the 1-1 now. This is hit on the ground just down the line. Diving stop by Botts. Flips to his pitcher, comes to the bag, and that's a great defensive play from Jason Botts there to end the inning. Possibly taking away extra bases for J.P. Ramirez on that ground ball just down the first base line. But Jason Botts with a nice diving stop, and that's the end of the sixth inning with the Air Hogs up 3-2 now after Travis Denker's solo home run in the sixth. We'll be back with the seventh here at Unitrade Stadium. You're listening to Grand Prairie Air Hogs Baseball. Welcome back. We now start the seventh inning here in Laredo, Texas. Air Hogs up to 3-2 now, with Michael Suk back on the mound for another inning in relief. Alex Nunez will be the next batter. Nunez 3 for 3 in tonight's game. Scored a run in the fifth inning. Left-handed batter against Suk, the right-handed pitcher. Ready to start things off in the seventh inning. Here comes the first pitch. That's right down the middle, called strike one, and Nunez stood like a statue on the left-handed side of the plate, just wanted to see what the pitch was going to be and see what kind of stuff Suk had. 0-1 the count. Suk set for the next pitch. Here it is. That is hit on the ground to first base. Stopping it on the ground is on Alonso, and he will flip to his pitcher to make the out. Alonso went to his knees to make that stop on the slow ground ball to the right side of the infield, and Nunez is retired for the first time of the night. One down in the seventh. Abel Nieves will bat. Nieves 1 for 3 tonight with a single way back in the first inning. Right now we're closing in on 2 hours of gameplay here in the start of the seventh. Our first pitch was at 7:34 p.m. Right now time is called as Travis Denker is tying his shoe at second base, and now we're ready to start things again. Nieves, right-handed batter against Suk, the right-handed pitcher. Now Suk set at the letters. Here comes the pitch. It is in the lower third of the zone that time for called strike one. Abel Nieves came into this game batting .330, a couple of home runs and 35 runs driven in. 0-1 pitch, inside this time to Nieves. A ball and a strike, a .357 batting average last year to lead the American Association. Two-time All-Star in the last two seasons. Now playing in left field, he's usually known as a third baseman. That's low in the dirt again from Michael Suk. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jason Botts on deck. Airhogs up 3-2, out hitting Laredo 6-2. Here's the next pitch on the 2-1. It's upstairs this time. Now moving the count to 3 balls and a strike to Abel Nieves, who turns 29 years old tomorrow. He'll be a veteran next season, an LS5 status player this year. 3-1 the count. Suk set. Here comes the pitch. It's hit on the ground once again, this time to Denker at second base. Scoops it up, goes to first, and gets the out on Nieves. 2 quick outs for Michael Suk in the 7th inning. Next batter, Jason Botts, who was 0 for 2 tonight. Last time up, he drew a walk. And didn't get a hit in last night's contest either, so now he's 0 for 6 in this series. Botts comes into this game as a .312 hitter and the leader on the squad in home runs and RBIs this year. Suk delivers the first pitch. It is little upstairs to Botts for ball 1. Airhogs as a team batting .268 with a total of 370 runs scored this year, which is in the bottom half of the league. Next pitch hit long into right field. Actually coming in a few steps on that line drive is Phipps as the wind pushed that in a little bit further than Jason Botts would like. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Suk in the 7th. Now we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at Unitrade Stadium with the score still 3-2 in favor of the Airhogs. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Welcome back. Now starting the bottom of the 7th inning at Unitrade Stadium. Airhogs up 3-2 on Laredo. Leading off this 7th, Devin Goodwin for the Lemurs. Goodwin 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded into a 6-3 double play in the 2nd, then struck out looking in the 4th. And back out there is TJ Bozeman. Bozeman about to throw pitch number 100. It might come in this at-bat against Devin Goodwin. Right now he's at 97. In his 3rd start of the year. Here's the first pitch to Goodwin, and it's upstairs this time for ball 1. Goodwin had a 3-run home run in the 8th inning of last night's game, as the Lemurs scored 10 runs in the 8th, as the next pitch is hit high and deep into left center field, and this one will bounce off the wall. Goodwin trying to cruise into second base, sliding in this time on the double. That was on pitch number 99 from TJ Bozeman. And Goodwin now with double number 20 on the season. So now a runner on second base with nobody out for Byron Wiley. Wiley, a walk and a strikeout tonight, 0 for 1 with a run scored. Way back in the 2nd. Bozeman now with pitch number 100. Outside on the fastball, and it's 1-0 the count to Byron Wiley, the left-handed batter. Bozeman so far has only allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, has 4 walks and 3 strikeouts in this third start of the season as an Air Hog. 1-0 pitch in the dirt, scooped up by Peterson. Now 2-0 the count to Byron Wiley. Wiley with the Lemurs is only batting .214 with runners in scoring position. 2-0 the count with a runner on second and nobody out. Here is the pitch from Bozeman. Skied high in the air to shallow left. Nieves charging in, and now he will settle underneath it for out number 1. Last night there was a shallow fly ball to left field that Nieves charged in too far shallow for, and it ended up going over his head. It would have been out number 3 in the 8th inning, but that led the Lemurs to score 10 runs in the 8th. Wasn't the only reason, but it certainly contributed. But that's out number 1 in left field for Nieves. Runner on second still with 1 out. Next batter, Carlos Ramirez, the catcher. Ramirez has an RBI double tonight, way back in the 2nd inning. 1 for 2 in the game. Bozeman delivers the first pitch. Low and away this time to Ramirez, ball 1. Harrison Kane on deck. Carlos Ramirez this season now with 33 runs driven in. Bozeman looks at second, now delivers home. Low and outside again. Peterson faked a snap throw to second base. 2-0 now to Ramirez. Bozeman now in his longest outing of the season with the Air Hogs. 6 1/3. Now trying to make it a little longer as he delivers a breaking ball high and outside to Carlos Ramirez. And it's now 3-0. Ramirez, a former prospect of the Los Angeles Angels, last season played for Arkansas, their Double-A affiliate. Inside, it's called strike 1, though, on the inside part of the plate. And now it's 3-1 to Carlos Ramirez as Bozeman tries to fight back. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher, runner on second, 1 out. Goodwin representing the tying run on base. Next pitch popped high in the air on the right side. Jason Botts going over to the foul wall to see if he can make the catch. Did he grab it? No, he did not. I believe it did come off his glove, though, as he was reaching over the fencing on the first base line. Instead, it's strike 2 to Ramirez, and that'll move the count full. Runner on second base and only 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Air Hogs 3, Laredo 2. Bozeman stepping off the rubber now, calls time. Bozeman now over 100 pitches in this at-bat against Carlos Ramirez. Runner on second and 1 out. Payoff pitch is upcoming. Bozeman kicks and delivers. Breaking pitch just inside, and Ramirez will take first base on ball 4. 5th walk of the game for Bozeman, and Eric Champion now calling time and walking out to the pitcher's mound. There is work in the bullpen for the Air Hogs, but so far no official signal to the bullpen from Eric Champion. We'll see what he does with TJ Bozeman here, with runners on first and second and only 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Air Hogs have gotten 1 double play to end the inning in this, or 1 double play so far. It did not end the inning in the 2nd inning. But Champion will leave Bozeman out there right now at 108 pitches. 55 strikes, 53 balls for Bozeman. He's been hovering 50-50 between balls and strikes all night. So runners on first and second, only 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Harrison Kane will bat for the Lemurs, the 9-hitter in the lineup who was 0 for 2 tonight. Last time up, struck out swinging. Bozeman set. Here comes the first pitch to Kane. Low in the dirt, blocked by Peterson, but runners are going to move up one base as the pitch bounced away from Peterson and rolled onto the third base line. But Peterson couldn't locate it in time to catch the runners, and now it's runners at second and third. The go-ahead run now in scoring position. It'll probably be a wild pitch to TJ Bozeman, but waiting official ruling on that. As the ball didn't get past Brian Peterson, it was just blocked in front of him. The 1-0 now in the dirt and blocked by Peterson again. This time he takes control of it, and it's now 2-0 to Kane. Airhogs are 11 games back of Laredo in the wild card, on the outside looking in the playoff picture. 20 games remaining. Here comes the 2-0 way upstairs, and now it's 3-0 to Kane. With first base open, but the last thing Bozeman wants to do really is allow a run against Kane, so maybe getting a walk may not be the worst thing. With one out, as the next pitch finds the zone this time, it's 3-1 now to Kane. It is a wild pitch to TJ Bozeman, moving runners to second and third base. 3-2 lead for the Airhogs, but Laredo threatening as the 3-1 comes, and it's upstairs, ball 4, and now bases loaded for Nick Van Straten. 6th walk of the game for Bozeman, and now Champion will make the move to the bullpen. So Bozeman's night is done. He's responsible for the bases loaded with a 1-run lead here in Laredo, and we'll see who comes from the pen for the Airhogs. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Airhogs up by a run. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Bottom of the 7th inning, Airhogs up 3-2, but the bases are loaded for Laredo with 1 out, and the reliever in for TJ Bozeman is Brett Wallach, the right-hander. Wallach pitched last night and got a scoreless 7th inning for the Airhogs, only giving up 1 hit and striking out a batter as well. That was before the big 10-run 8th inning when the Airhogs bullpen was rocked by the Laredo offense. Wallach now on the season for Grand Prairie has appeared a total of 24 times, has a record of 3-0, has an ERA of 4.44. 25-year-old rookie, last played in the Chicago Cubs minor league system for the Tennessee Smokies as well as Daytona in the Arizona League. So Brett Wallach in for TJ Bozeman, who lasted 6 1/3 for the Airhogs, allowing 2 runs on 3 hits, 6 walks, 3 strikeouts. Bozeman responsible for all 3 runners on base, so his run total could climb here as Wallach enters the game. The batter will be Nick Van Straten. Van Straten tonight 0 for 2 with a walk in the 3rd inning, and still looking for his first base hit of this series after going 0 for 5 last night. Right-handed batter against a right-handed pitcher. Van Stratton this year with the bases loaded is 2 for 9. Pollock now looking into the signals. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Air Hogs up by a run. Here's the first pitch from Wallach inside to Van Stratton, and he scooted backwards to avoid being hit, but if he was hit by it, the tying run would have come into home plate there on the hit by a pitch. Instead, ball 1 to Van Stratton. The 6th best batting average in the league at .344 this year. 1-0 pitch. Taken for called strike 1. It hit the higher third of the zone for Wallach on the fastball, and it's now 1-1 the count. Only 1 out, and the bases are juiced. In this bottom of the 7th inning, Laredo had a big 10-run 8th inning last night, and the Air Hogs don't want to duplicate that here tonight with a 3-2 lead. Here's the 1-1. That is hit on the ground to the shortstop. Mojica loses it, and now everybody will be safe as the tying run comes in. Mojica couldn't scoop it into his glove properly. Could have gone to second base, but it would have been a tough play to get 2 on that one, as Van Stratton is not a slow guy. It should be an error, but we'll see what the ruling is officially. As the tying run does come in for Laredo, it is now tied at 3, and the bases are still loaded with 1 out. Still no ruling as to what that play is for Nick Van Stratton driving in the run. Now it is an error. Phipps slowly bounces this pitch foul, and it lands into the Air Hogs dugout on the third base line. Strike 1 to Phipps. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Last time up, flew out to center field. So it'll be an error on Jimmy Mojica. Going to his left side, trying to scoop it up and throw to second base to start the double play. But unclear as to whether the double play really would have been finished on Nick Van Stratton, a speedy center fielder. 0-1 pitch, low this time, and it's a ball and a strike to Dennis Phipps, the right fielder. Travis Denker is on deck with 1 out and runners at every base. Lemurs have tied it up in this 7th inning, 3-3. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Breaking low and away from Phipps. Actually, that was the 1-1, and now it's 2 balls and a strike. An error will be given to Jimmy Mojica, advancing Nick Van Stratton to first base. 2-1 pitch upcoming. Here it is from Wallach. Swung on and bounced foul straight back by Phipps, and now the count moves to 2-2. Brett Wallach is the son of Tim Wallach, who was a longtime Montreal Expo and was selected as an All-Star 5 times, now the bench coach for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So baseball is in the blood of the Wallachs, and Brett Wallach was drafted by the Dodgers in 2009 when his father was coaching with the team. 2-2 pitch on the way. That is swung on and missed. A high fastball from Wallach gets Phipps swinging there for out number 2 and a big out with the bases loaded. But now he has to face a tough power hitter in Travis Denker, who just blasted his 23rd home run of the season in the last inning, the 6th. So now Denker comes up with the bases loaded. Denker doesn't have a grand slam this year. He is 1 for 4 with the bases loaded this season. Now 2 outs, bases juiced for the Laredo Lemurs. Tie score at 3 apiece here in the second game of this 3-game set. Air Hogs out hitting the Lemurs 6-3. Air Hogs with 2 errors, Lemurs with 1. Brett Wallach set to face Denker. Here comes the first pitch. It is popped foul over the roof and out of play for Denker. Ball or strike 1. Denker, 76 runs batted in now. He leads in both home runs and runs batted in the league. After coming here from the Lancaster Barnstormers last season. No balls and a strike. Brett Wallach looking in for quite a while at the signals of Brian Peterson, looking for his favorite pitch, and now he has it. Here is the 0-1. Slowly bounced foul straight back behind Peterson. 0-2 now to Denker. John Alonso on deck if Denker can drive in the go-ahead run here for Laredo. Airhogs and Lemurs tied at 3 in the bottom of the second inning. Bases loaded and 2 outs for the Lemurs. Brett Wallach in relief, set on the mound. Here comes the pitch. That is low on the breaking ball, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. The run that scored earlier in this inning will be charged to TJ Bozeman. That was Devin Goodwin who led off this 7th with a double. Then Bozeman walked the next 2 batters, and then the first batter that Brett Wallach faced in relief, Nick Van Straten, reached on an error by Jimmy Mojica. Then a strikeout to Phipps by Wallach, and now a ball and 2 strikes on Travis Denker. Here comes the 1-2 from Wallach. A little bit low on the fastball, and Brett Wallach trying to get Denker to swing at that, but it's now 2-2. The Airhogs had 2 errors last night and now have 2 tonight. The error by Mojica bringing in the tying run for Laredo in this 7th. Wallach with the 2-2 pitch to Denker. That is lined foul down the left field side. Sharply hit, but not straight enough for Denker. As Brian Peterson will now go out to the mound to talk with Brett Wallach, the rookie reliever. Had a scoreless inning last night and can keep a scoreless line here if he can get out of this inning without allowing another run. As the run that scored by Devin Goodwin will be given to TJ Bozeman, who allowed Goodwin to get on base in the 7th. Wallach, 25 years old, listed as a rookie even though he does have professional experience. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Denker. Runners at every base. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Tie score at 3 apiece between the Airhogs and the Lemurs. Lemurs can take the series tonight with a win. Here's the 2-2. Popped foul, straight back. And Peterson won't have a play as it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Denker. On deck, John Alonso. But first, Denker has to reach base. Airhogs with a win tonight can even not just this 3-game set, but as the season series at 8 games apiece. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Wallach set at the belt for the 2-2 pitch. And now here it comes to the plate. That is lined into right field, a base hit. And fielding it is Frazier Hall, throwing home, trying to nab Harrison Kane. The throw to the plate is not in time, as just under the slide, Peterson couldn't grab the ball, and Denker sliding in safely to home plate. 2-run score on the RBI single by Travis Denker. It's 5-3 Lemurs in the 7th. Denker now with RBIs number 77 and 78 on the year. And he's been no stranger to moments like that this season for Laredo. Next batter, John Alonso, I should say. Alonso is 0 for 3 tonight. Now Wallach just trying to get out of the inning without any more damage done as the Lemurs score 3 so far in this 7th to take a 5-3 lead. First pitch from Wallach, taken for called strike 1 on the upstairs part of the strike zone. Alonso last time up flew out to right field. Runners on first and second base. Still 2 outs in this bottom of the 7th inning. Brett Wallach in relief. Looks at second where Van Stratton leads off, now brings it home. And the pitch gets away from Brian Peterson. And moving up one base are Van Stratton and Denker. Now it's second and third with 2 outs. And this one might be a passed ball for Brian Peterson, as it looked to be outside, but not too tough to handle there for a catcher of Brian Peterson's caliber. 1-1 the count on John Alonso, runners at second and third. Here comes the pitch from Brett Wallach. Low once again. This time Peterson stops it in the dirt. And it's 2-1 now to John Alonso, the cleanup hitter. J.P. Ramirez on deck. Alonso is the 8th batter of the inning. Van Stratton at third, Denker at second, 2 outs. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Wallach. Low and away again on the fastball. Count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. All the runs so far that have scored for Laredo will be given to TJ Bozeman, who left Ramirez and Kane on base after allowing walks to them. So Bozeman finishing the night with 5 runs allowed. Here's the 3-1. That's on the ground to the shortstop Mojica. Stops it into his shirt and goes to first. Gets the out just in time to beat Alonso. That will end the 7th inning, but not before 3 runs on 2 hits by the Lemurs. 1 error helped them out by the Air Hogs, and they left 2 on base. 5-3 is the lead for the Lemurs going to the 8th inning. You're listening to Grand Prairie Air Hogs baseball. Top of the 8th inning now in Laredo, Texas, and the Lemurs have just taken a 5-3 lead. Now Brian Myro will lead it off for the Air Hogs in the 8th, and he looks at strike 1 from Michael Suk. So 3 runs on 2 hits for the Lemurs, also 1 error in that 7th inning for the Air Hogs, giving the Lemurs the lead here. They're up by 2 runs now in the 8th inning, and Michael Suk in his 3rd inning in relief now delivers, called strike 2 to Myro. Myro tonight does not have an official at-bat, 2 walks and a sacrifice fly, so 1 run batted in for him. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Michael Suk set at the letters once again. Here comes the 0-2, taken upstairs for ball 1. Defensive changes for Laredo. Coming in to play third base, Kyle Brandenburg, the rookie who started at third base last night. He moves Harrison Kane to left field, and so Brandenburg will take J.P. Ramirez's spot in the lineup in the 5-hole. He'll be due up next in the bottom of the 8th inning. Taken low from Brian Myro there. It was a hard pitch to take as well. Probably could have found the lower third of the zone from Michael Suk. Brian Peterson and Frazier Hall up after Brian Myro. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Michael Suk. That is driven into center field, and staying in his position there is Nick Van Straten, just a couple of steps in. And that is out number 1. Now next batter is Brian Peterson, who is 0 for 3 tonight. He is grounded into 2 double plays and has struck out. Peterson last night went 1 for 4 with a single, so 1 for 7 now in this series. Michael Suk set on the mound. Here comes the first pitch to Brian Peterson, a little low for ball 1. Peterson, the former Laredo Lemur, played for the team last season, started 95 games as their catcher. He's played for quite a few teams in independent ball now. Here comes the 1-0. That's hit high in the air this time, left center field. This will be Nick Van Straten's play as well in center, and he makes the grab. Out number 2 now in the 8th inning. Now the next batter will be Frazier Hall. Hall tonight has drawn 2 walks and scored a run. So far 0 for 1 on the night. Had a solo home run in the 9th inning of last night's game to shrink the deficit to 11-4 for the Air Hogs. That's the score that they lost by in the series opener. Michael Suk set on the mound. Here's the first pitch to Hall. Check swing, but called strike 1 in the outside corner. Hall now 7 home runs on the season, 29 RBIs. A .262 hitter this year. Left-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. The 0-1 from Suk is swung on and tipped into the screen by Frazier Hall. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on base. Air Hogs in danger of losing their first road series since Eric Champion took over in early July. They've won their last 5 road series since then. The 0-2 is driven foul down the right side into the seats. And that was a screamer from Frazier Hall, but luckily no one was on the other end of that one. And it's still 0-2, the right fielder Hall. 26 years old, last played in the Arizona Diamondbacks minor league system for their AA club in South Bend. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, driven into right center field. It'll fall for a base hit. Nick Van Straten keeps it from going back to the wall, and it'll be a single for Frazier Hall. So now the batter will be Matthew Burns with 2 outs and a man on first. Burns tonight 1 for 2. Led off this game in the 2nd inning with a 2-run shot to left field, his 2nd home run in 3 games. He also has a fly out to center field and a walk. Right now, Carlos Ramirez, the catcher, talking with Michael Suk on the mound. Suk with 38 pitches now in this relief appearance, so far going 2 1/3, allowing just 2 base hits here in the last 3 innings. And now Pete Incaviglia will come out from the dugout. Still no signal to the bullpen yet, but out to talk with Michael Suk, his right-handed reliever. Relieved Tyler Pearson, who worked 5 innings. So now Incaviglia trying to inspire some wisdom into Michael Suk here with 2 outs and a runner on first. Matthew Burns has been a tough out as of late with 2 home runs in the last 3 games, both of them to left field. His first 2 professional home runs of his career. Starting at third base this time in place of Madison Carter, who batted 8th last night and played in left field. Carter left last night's game with an injury he sustained after a collision at home plate with the catcher Carlos Ramirez. First pitch to Burns is taken low and in the dirt for ball one. And Ramirez faked a throw to first base where Frazier Hall was leading off. Want to know the count to Matthew Burns, rookie out of Northwestern State, 24 years old, right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. 1-0 pitch is in there. We're called strike one on the outside corner. Eric Baker on deck with 2 outs and a man on first. Airhogs down 5-3. They held the lead for most of this game, scoring first in the second inning with a couple of runs. But in the bottom of the 7th, Laredo taking the lead with 3 runs. Now the 1-1 is popped into the screen by Matthew Burns. It's now a ball and 2 strikes to the rookie infielder. Grand Prairie out hitting Laredo 7-4, but being outscored 5-3 in tonight's second game of the 3-game set. Hall at first, 2 down in the 8th inning. 1-2 pitch to Burns, just missing the outside part of the plate, and Suk wanted it as he was walking towards his dugout, thinking he got a strikeout there, but it's 2-2 instead. Suk is just the second pitcher used by Pete Cavilla tonight. Pearson working 5, and now Suk trying to get through 3. 2-2 pitch on the way to Burns. Little upstairs and outside this time, now a full count. Tying run is at the plate for the Airhogs, down by a couple of runs here in the top of the 8th inning. Michael Suk looking in. Frazier Hall leading off at first base, now not being held on by the first baseman John Alonso. A full count, and the runner will go on the 3-2. Swung on and missed by Burns. And Suk gets out of the 8th inning with no runs allowed on just 1 hit. And now we go to the bottom of the 8th with another runner left on base by the Airhogs. And they trail at 5-3 against Laredo, going to the bottom of the 8th inning here at Unitrade Stadium. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs baseball. Welcome back to Grand Prairie Airhogs baseball. Bottom of the 8th inning. Airhogs down 5-3. And Dakota Watts will be in for the Airhogs. Usually the closer for Grand Prairie, but getting some work here in the bottom of the 8th inning against Laredo with his team down 2 runs. Watts on the season has appeared a total of 38 times now, has an 0-2 record and an ERA of 4.39. 19 saves on the season for Dakota Watts, the 26-year-old former Minnesota Twins prospect. And 19 saves is good for third best in the league. First pitch to the first batter, Kyle Brandenburg, is a bunt, and the throw to first is not in time as it was right in front of home plate and just died on the grass, and Dakota Watts had to come all the way from the pitcher's mound to try and field it. And Brandenburg, the rookie, using his speed there to get a bunt single. Brandenburg came in defensively at third base in the 8th inning and now leads off the 8th with a single to bring up Devin Goodwin. Goodwin tonight is 1 for 3 with a leadoff double in the 3-run 7th inning by Laredo. Showing bunt on the first pitch is Goodwin, pulls back on strike one. Watts comes in relief of Brett Wallach, who worked 2/3 of an inning in the 7th. Officially no runs allowed on 1 hit, 1 strikeout for Wallach. All of the runs were charged to TJ Bozeman, who left the bases loaded in the 7th. Runner going on the 0-1. Outside, the throw to second base is in time as Peterson nabs the runner Kyle Brandenburg. Mojica with a nice tag there at second base on the 2-6 caught stealing. A ball and a strike now to Devin Goodwin. 1 out, nobody on base. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. And Dakota Watts now set. Here comes the pitch to Goodwin. That is popped foul. Over the roof this time. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. On deck, Byron Wiley, the DH. Airhogs out hitting Laredo 7-5, but they're being outscored 5-3 in this game. 2 errors for the Airhogs, 1 for the Lemurs. 1-2 pitch is upcoming. Watts brings it home in the dirt this time on the changeup. Even count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Devin Goodwin, who had a home run last night to give him 15 on the year. And scored a run in the 7th inning, the tying run. Well, no, not the tying run for Laredo. 2-2 pitch. Hit high in the air, but it's foul into the screen. Still 2-2 to the shortstop, Goodwin, who is the All-Star Game MVP. Airhogs are 7-8 on the season against Laredo and would lose their first road series in over a month with a loss tonight. The 2-2 is grounded foul down the first base line, and Goodwin staying alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Airhogs went 4-5 on their last homestand, started out this road trip with a loss. 11-4 was the final score last night against Laredo, as the Lemurs exploded for 10 runs in the 8th inning. Next pitch, swung on, foul-tipped. Peterson can't hold on, and it's still 2-2 to Goodwin, fighting hard in this at-bat against Watts, the closer. Certainly not a save situation in the 8th inning with the Airhogs down 2 runs against Laredo. But Watts in there anyway, trying to get some work, hasn't appeared since Sunday. Nods at the signals from Peterson. The 2-2 pitch is upcoming, and Watts delivers in the dirt, bouncing in front of home plate. And it's now a full count to Devin Goodwin, who, in addition to his 15 home runs on the season, has 59 runs batted in as well. He had 4 last night. The 3-2 pitch. That is grounded foul, ricocheting off of the Laredo dugout on the first base line. Still a full count here to Devin Goodwin. 10th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. Byron Wiley on deck for Laredo. 1 out, nobody on base. Kyle Brandenburg had a bunt single, but then was caught stealing by Brian Peterson. Payoff pitch is upcoming, and here it is from Watts. Low, and it's ball 4. So Goodwin takes a base for Byron Wiley, the DH. Well, the Airhogs are now looking for their first win against Laredo on the road since way back on July 26th. In danger of losing their third straight road game against Laredo. Byron Wiley tonight, 0 for 2, scored a run after drawing a walk in the second. Runner not going, started to go at first base on the pitch, but then Devin Goodwin started to stop in the middle of the base pads and went back to the bag. Goodwin does lead the team in stolen bases with 21 on the year. It was ball 1 to Byron Wiley there. Watts set at the belt. Appears behind his shoulder, now brings the 1-0. That is popped foul over the screen by Wiley. A ball and a strike now to the former Kansas City T-Bone, who lives in Tomball, Texas. He's 27 years old. Carlos Ramirez, the catcher, is on deck. Count is actually 0-2 against Wiley. The first pitch was a strike. So it's 0-2 now. Here's the pitch with the runner going in the dirt. Goodwin will slide in safely under the tag from Jimmy Mojica. So that throw from Peterson not in time, and Goodwin steals base number 22 on the year. Count is a ball and 2 strikes to Byron Wiley now. After that pitch in the dirt, which threw off Brian Peterson just a little bit there. Part of the reason why he really couldn't get a good throw over to second base in time. Now runner in scoring position for Wiley. Airhogs will likely see the closer, Chad Povich, for Laredo in the 9th. Due up for the Airhogs is Eric Baker, then followed by Jimmy Mojica and Alex Nunez in the top half of the 9th inning. Watts steps off the rubber momentarily, now steps back on to look at the signals again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner on second, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Airhogs down 5-3. Here's the pitch. Upstairs on the fastball. Even count again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Byron Wiley joined the Lemurs in mid-July and has been a mainstay in the lineup ever since. Here's the 2-2. Popped high in the air on the left side, going foul. 2-2 pitch was fouled out by Wiley again, and now another 2-2 pitch is upcoming from Watts, who got a save in his last appearance against the Amarillo Sox on Sunday, as the Airhogs won 4-2. But the last time he faced Laredo, he blew a save. Here's the 2-2 with the runner going. Now the throw to third base is not handled by Burns, and it knocked it in front of him, but Goodwin steals third base now on ball 3 to Byron Wiley. So now Goodwin with 23 stolen bases on the year and 2 in this at-bat against Wiley. And Matthew Burns not able to catch it cleanly. He did knock it in front of him and kept it from going into left field there, which would have scored Devin Goodwin. Now a runner at third base, and the infield is going to shift in with only 1 out in the 8th. Byron Wiley, just a .212 hitter with runners in scoring position, has come up once with Goodwin at second base tonight. He flew out to left field. Payoff pitch on the way. That is bounced foul into the Laredo dugout on the first base line. May have come off of Byron Wiley's shoe there as well, as it's still 3-2 the count. Carlos Ramirez on deck for Laredo, and so far the last couple of batters have driven up Watts' pitch count here. Ready for another 3-2. Here it is. That is line foul down the first base line. Almost hit the first base coach, Ryan Flynn. And another pitch fouled off by Wiley as the pitch count continues to soar for Dakota Watts. Now at 19 pitches in this inning with only one out. 3-2 pitch upcoming again, infield on the grass. Here it is from Watts, driven foul again down the right field side into the seats. So Wiley doing whatever he can to find the right pitch to drive into the field of play. He's fouled off the last three from Watts, who's now at 20 pitches. Looks in again to the signals from Peterson. And Watts, the 26-year-old closer, delivers the 3-2 payoff pitch again, upstairs. No, it's called strike three, and Wiley does not like the call at all. He was on his way to first base, and now he's talking with the home plate umpire, David Frame, and out comes Pete Incaviglia to keep Wiley from getting tossed from this game, and he might just try to reason with David Frame there, but sees no use in it, and Wiley, visibly frustrated, slamming his helmet into the dugout. Now, being thrown out from this game is Byron Wiley, and he just now realizing he's coming out from the dugout again. Incaviglia now in the face of David Frame, and Wiley pointing his finger at Frame, trying to be restrained there by Ryan Flynn, the first base coach. David Frame appeared to not like the behavior from Byron Wiley, slamming his helmet into the dugout, and Pete Incaviglia trying to reason with Frame, wondering why that was really acceptable for an ejection there. It wasn't directed at the umpire by any means. He was only throwing his helmet into the dugout. But Frame obviously not pleased by that, and Wiley walking towards the gate in right field will not take any further part in this one after striking out looking. Pete Incaviglia still talking with David Frame. Brian Child, the third base coach, also over in that discussion right now. Incaviglia wondering why Wiley was tossed so early there. Wiley obviously had some choice words for him as he was walking on the first base line, thinking it was ball four. It was on the high end of the zone on a breaking pitch from Watts. But Frame not liking the move that Wiley made, throwing his helmet into the Laredo dugout after striking out and walking back to the dugout. So that's why he's being ejected from this game. That's out number two, still a runner at third base. 5-3 lead for Laredo in the bottom of the eighth inning. The next batter is Carlos Ramirez. Dakota Watts now with the set and the delivery. That is driven into center field, falls for a base hit in front of Eric Baker. 6-3 is the lead now for Laredo as Goodwin scores. Second RBI of the night for Ramirez. First one came way back in the second inning on a double. So Laredo extends the lead to 3 runs on the Air Hogs in the eighth, and now the next batter is Harrison Kane. Right-handed batter, right-handed pitcher. Kane tonight is 0 for 2. Last time up, drew a walk and scored a run. First pitch from Watts, taken low for ball one. Harrison Kane started at third base, now is the left fielder after Kyle Brandenburg entered into the game for J.P. Ramirez. Watts set at the belt again. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's a breaking ball, tipped foul by Harrison Kane. Now a bonus strike. Runner on first and 2 outs in the bottom of the eighth. And now a 6-3 lead for Laredo. They've scored 5 runs in the last 3 innings. Coming back to take the lead once again, and for the second night of the row against the Air Hogs, as Kane swings and foul tips the next pitch from Watts into the backstop, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count now with Nick Van Straten on deck. And fans booing home plate umpire David Frame as he went to go back and fetch that ball. Tipped by Harrison Kane. Byron Wiley tossed after arguing balls and strikes with Frame and slamming his helmet in the dugout. 1-2 pitch on the way from Watts. Swung on, driven into right, a base hit. It was on the ground between the big hole between first and second base. Nunez was shifted closer to the second base bag, expecting to probably get a force on Carlos Ramirez at first base on a ground ball, and Botts was all the way over to the first base bag, holding on Ramirez. So that allowed for the ground ball to be grounded all the way through a big hole between first and second base on the right side. So now it's runners on first and second with 2 gone in the 8th. 1 run across the board in this 8th inning for Laredo to take a 6-3 lead. Nick Van Straten at the plate. Here comes the first pitch. That is called strike 1. Van Straten now 0 for 8 in this series. He has reached twice on errors in these last couple of games. Actually, well, he's reached on 2 in these last couple of games, but he's also drawn a walk tonight to reach. Looks at a pitch low in the dirt this time from Watts, and it's 1-1 the count. So Watts is having to throw a lot of pitches in this 8th inning. He's now at 28 just in this 8th, in this 38th appearance of the season. 1-1 pitch on the way to Van Straten, and it's called strike 2 on the outside part of the plate. Van Straten came up with the bases loaded in the 7th, reached on an error by Jimmy Mojica. That brought in a run, but no official RBI given to Van Straten. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch from Watts upstairs on the fastball, 2-2. Actually, Van Straten was given an RBI on that play. So Van Straten now with a total of 41 RBIs on the season. 2-2 pitch from Watts. On the ground, bouncer to Jimmy Mojica. Throws to second base, and they just get the out on Kane, who slid in very hard at the second base bag. And he appeared to clip Alex Nunez on the left leg there, and Kane is going over to Nunez to see if he's all right, and he appears to be so. Still walking a little softly on that left leg there, but that ends the inning. 1 run scores for Laredo on 2 hits, and they leave 2 men on base. Going to the top of the 9th, Laredo up 6-3 on the Airhogs. You're listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. Welcome back to Grand Prairie Airhogs baseball. Starting the ninth inning here at Unitrade Stadium in Laredo, Texas. Laredo has the 6-3 lead on the Airhogs in the second game of the three-game set. In to try and get the save is Chad Povich, the closer for Laredo. Povich this season with the Lemurs has a total of 13 saves on the season, a record of 2-4, and an ERA of 4.41, total of 34 and 2/3 innings pitched. First batter he faces, Eric Baker. Comes in relief of Michael Suk, who pitched 3 scoreless innings in relief with only 2 hits allowed as well as a strikeout. So a nice outing for Suk, and strike one is called to Eric Baker, who is 1 for 3 tonight with a single. Now Povich delivers the 0-1, a curveball upstairs. That's ball one. Eric Baker comes into this game with a batting average of .218. Got a base hit last night, swings and misses at a pitch high from Povich. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Baker will be followed by Jimmy Mojica and Alex Nunez in the lineup. Airhogs down by 3 runs, 7 base hits for each team. Next pitch on the ground, one hop fielded by Devin Goodwin, settles and makes the throw to first for out number 1. So now, Jimmy Mojica, the former Laredo Lemur, will have his chance against Chad Povich. And the boos rain down on the former Lemur, Jimmy Mojica. Povich delivers a pitch which is skied into the infield diamond by Mojica that time. Denker underneath, the second baseman, and he catches it for out number 2. So quickly 2 outs in this ninth inning for Povich, who is 13 for 17 in his save appearances on the season. Povich is 28 years old from Commerce City, Colorado. Nunez, the next batter. Alex Nunez is 3 for 4 tonight with 3 singles and a run scored. Povich wind up, and the first pitch is driven high in the air to left center field, going back Van Stratton, and he's chasing it and will not make the catch as it bounces on the warning track, and Nunez is into second base on a double. He is 4 for 5 on the night and gets his first extra base hit of the game, and that gives him 12 doubles on the year. So now the next batter is Abel Nieves with 2 outs and a man on second base. Nieves 1 for 4 tonight. A single way back in the first inning. Last time up he grounded out to second base. Povich with the first pitch to Nieves, up high and a little in tight for ball 1. Jason Bontz on deck. This is a promising part of the lineup for Grand Prairie, so could be able to string something together down 3 runs. Nieves, slow bouncer, foul down the third base line. 1-1 the count to Abel Nieves. 2 home runs, 35 runs driven in for Nieves. Had an RBI last night going 1 for 4. .330 batting average on the season. Nunez at second, 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. Povich looking for save number 14. Inside as Nieves scoots back on the pitch from Povich, 2-1. Povich last season was with Laredo. Before that, he was a member of the Amarillo Sox. 2-1 pitch. On the ground, foul again by Nieves down the third base line, and it's an even count again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Laredo can take the series with a win tonight, and that would be the first series loss for the Airhogs since the month of June. 2-2 pitch on the way. Nieves hits it high in the air to right field. Phipps going back near the warning track, underneath to make the grab, and he does so to end the game for the Lemurs, and they win their 6th in a row here at home, and they will look for a series sweep tomorrow against the Airhogs. The final score tonight is 6-3 in favor of Laredo. Lemurs once again come from behind against the Airhogs to get the win. 5 runs scored in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings to overcome a 3-1 deficit that the Airhogs climbed to in this game, the same deficit that Laredo faced last night, scoring 10 runs in the 8th. This time they only needed 5 runs to come back from the Airhogs' early lead in this game to get the win. So the winning pitcher in this game is going to be Michael Suk. 3 scoreless innings, only 2 hits allowed on, and only 1 strikeout in the 3 innings in relief for Tyler Pearson, the starter. Loss will go to Brett Wallach, who came in with the bases loaded and only 1 out in the 7th inning, one in which the Lemurs scored 3 runs. The runs will go to TJ Bozeman, but Wallach left the game with the Airhogs losing, so he will pick up the loss for this one. And the save will go to Chad Povich, his 14th save of the year. So the Airhogs will drop their first series since Eric Champion took over as manager. Before that, they have won their last 5 road series, but it won't happen this week against Laredo as they lose the second game of the 3 games set by a score of 6-3. Tomorrow we will have the final game of the 3-game set on a Thursday night here in Laredo, Texas. Our first pitch is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. Slated to start for the Lemurs, Jeremy Strawn, the right-hander, and he will go up against Trevor Harden of the Grand Prairie Airhogs. So 2 very prolific starters for both of their clubs this season will be facing off tomorrow in the series finale as the Airhogs look to avoid the 3-game sweep by the Laredo Lemurs. So that'll do it from Unitrade Stadium in Laredo, Texas for tonight. Here are your final lines for the game. The Laredo Lemurs score 6 runs on 7 hits, 1 error for them. The Grand Prairie Airhogs score 3 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors in the field by the Airhogs tonight. And we hope you will join us for tomorrow night's series finale. 7:30 first pitch here at Unitrade Stadium in Laredo, Texas. Once again, our final score tonight, the Laredo Lemurs 6, the Grand Prairie Airhogs 3. We thank you for tuning in to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball live on Ustream. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. here in Laredo. Until then, I'm Andy Humphrey. So long from Laredo, Texas. You've been listening to Grand Prairie Airhogs Baseball. We'll see you next time, everyone.